Very good morning and warm welcome to my dear sweet little children. Last week we read the lesson number 27, The Dreadful Guest. Yes, today we'll see the explanation part of it. Let's start with our session quickly. Subject English, Unit 3. Dear children, this is the last lesson for your unit, right? After this, we are going to begin with unit 4. Okay, so last lesson of the unit 3, lesson number 27, the dreadful guest. Okay, page number 62, the dreadful guest. Once upon a time, the king of Russia decided to hold a grand feast. He invited princes, rich merchants, brave warriors, and all the important people in his kingdom. On the night of the feast, the king and his guests sat together at a long table in the banquet hall. They talked and laughed and everyone was happy. Suddenly, a huge animal burst into the hall. It was a horrible looking dragon. It was as tall as a tree, as broad as a house, with teeth like spikes and claws like knives. His skin was hard and scaly, and his eyes red. Red hot fumes shot forth from his mouth, and black smoke from his nostrils. Now, this dragon was also a very mean creature. He loved to be a spoilsport and killjoy. He walked straight to the head of the table and pushed himself between the king and the queen. Everyone stopped talking. Everyone was scared. Well, not everyone. The brave warrior Yvonne was not afraid of dragons. What a rude, impolite creature you are, he said angrily. Now, once upon a time, a king of Russia, he decides to give a grand feast, means a party. For this party, he invited princes, rich merchants, brave warriors, and some other important people of the kingdom. And on the night of the feast, the king was sitting with his guests on a long table in the banquet hall. He was talking to them. They were laughing. Everyone was enjoying the feast. Everyone was happy. But all of a sudden, a huge animal enters the hall. Burst into the hall means enters the hall. And that animal was looking very horrible. It appeared like a dragon to them. And that dragon was as tall as a tree, as broad as a house. Its teeth were like spikes, means a narrow thin shape with a sharp pointed at one end. His claws were like knives, they were very sharp. His skin was hard and scaly. His eyes were red, and from his mouth red fumes were coming. Black smoke came from his nostrils. Now this dragon was a very mean creature. He was of a bad nature. He loved to be a spoilsport, means a person who stops others from enjoying themselves. And a killjoy means a person who interferes in other people's fun. He was very ill-mannered. He walked to the head of the table. He pushed himself, adjusted himself between king and the queen. And at the sight of dragon, everyone stopped laughing. They all were scared. But there was a brave warrior by name Yvonne. He was not afraid of these dragons. He angrily asked dragon that not asked but angrily he said to that dragon that you are an impolite creature. Don't you feel so? Let's move ahead. Just then the servant brought into the food brought in the food and set the platters on the table. But before they had a chance to serve the food to the king and the queen and the guests, the dragon began to gobble up everything. The king and the queen did not know what to do. Nobody could stop the dragon, but Yvonne spoke up again. Nobody has ever taught you any manners, I can see, he said. I hope you choke on the food you are gobbling up so greedily. Now this was more than the dragon could stand. He puffed out fire and sprang to his feet. I dare you to come out and fight with me, Yvonne, he roared. Are you ready? Of course, said Yvonne. Now, just then the servants they entered the hall and they came with food. They set the platters, means large plates which are used to serve the food. They were set on the table, and before they get chance to serve food to the king and the guest and the queen, the dragon began to gobble up everything, eat up very fast. Gobble means to eat up very fast. Now king and queen were surprised. They were not knowing. They were afraid what to do now. They were thinking no one can stop this dragon from eating up all the things. But Yvonne spoke up. He said that no one has taught you manners. I can see that. And he says that I hope you choke up on the food you are gobbling so greedily. Greedily means हम जो हावरट जैसा. Okay. Now this was more than the dragon could stand. Now he could not hear more than this. So he puffed out fire. Puffed out means to throw the fire. As I said that from his mouth the fire was coming. Okay. And he challenges Yvonne that are you ready to fight with me? Yvonne says, yes, of course I am ready to fight with you because I am not afraid of you. So dear children, we stop here. Okay. Remaining rest the story we will see tomorrow. Okay. So for watching. Meet you tomorrow in the next session. Till that, bye.